I watched Dune Part 2 and it is a cinematic masterpiece, obviously. And I know everyone is saying the same thing, that it is a cinematic masterpiece and all, but I got to tell you, and I can definitely say it on their behalf, that this is not only a cinematic masterpiece from the perspective of core visuals and the grand and the enormous frames that we get in this movie, but also the story of this movie is so enriching. The entire screenplay of this movie is designed pretty well to keep you hooked for the entire movie. There are a lot of twists and turns, there are a lot of politics, there is still a bit of exposition still left in this movie. And yeah, after watching this movie, you will even appreciate the first movie even more, because without the first movie, second movie doesn't even stand a chance to be as good as it is, because everything was laid out in the first movie. Like, the first movie is entirely based on only exposition, only our introduction to this world of Caladan, their politics, the angles of religion, the angles of prophecy, the angles of spies, the angles of Arrakis, the angles of Fremen, and how the Harkonnen people were. The Harkonnen people are depicted only as evil, straight up demons. This all groundwork foundation thing was done so beautifully in the first movie that it made possible for the second movie to just go deep into all those things, to add some more exposition, but still finding out different things of this movie as well. As I said, the screenplay of this movie is what I truly loved the most. But I gotta tell you, I did not watch this movie in the largest screen as possible, because in my city there is no IMAX screen, and the theater that I went to, it has a normal screen, but the tickets that I bought were a bit farther away from the screen, and that made the screen look even smaller. Yeah, that's the one thing that I really regret. But anyways, even though I couldn't watch it on the biggest screen as possible, still the cinematics that Denis Villeneuve brought to this entire movie was epic. I mean, every shot that you see in this movie just feels epic. And the reason is pretty simple. The use of wide shots. They have used so many wide shots, which really shows the grandness of things, the realness of things, and it makes you feel really small in this vast world. If I talk about the tone of the movie is not serious all the time because of the prophecy angle and the people who are following the prophecy, Lisan Al-Gaib, and the main guy of that promotion was Stilgar. Stilgar was such a comedic character, and I did not expect that. In the first movie, he was a serious bloke, though we didn't see a lot of him, but whatever was shown of him, it was all serious. And in this movie, he was just used as a comedic relief, and he delivered that. Every time he said Lisan Al-Gaib, I used to crack up, and if you have seen the movie, you'll know the reason why. Now that I talked about the funny side, let me address the serious side of the things. And the first person that comes to mind when I say the word serious is not Paul Atreides, but it's Rebecca Ferguson's character, Reverend Mother, in this movie. Well, she acted so beautifully in this movie. The way she made people believe in the Lisan Al-Gaib, the concept of this prophecy more and more, that was really chilling to see. And she really looks scary. Please tell me in the comment that you also felt that she was very scary in this movie. While I'm talking about the prophecy, the themes of prophecy, spreading a propaganda, that themes, and also the themes of politics within the houses, that was very good to see. And everyone was kind of betraying everyone. So yeah, I really enjoyed that, because nothing was sure, and I really enjoyed that. Now if I talk about the Harkonnen people, they were straight up evil. They were showed like devils, and whenever we were in the world of the Harkonnens, we had those black and white scenes, and they looked pretty good as well. And if I'm talking about black and white, I have to talk about the greatest character of this movie, and that character is Austin Butler's character. Well, he delivered a menacing performance, though I did feel like his only menacing or his psychotic side was only mentioned in this movie and was shown in this movie too, but at the same time, I just felt it was liked at the end of the day. I mean, yeah, his ending fight was pretty good. I'll talk about that later as well. Somehow I felt that his character could have done a lot more to the story, but I have not read the novels and I don't know, but yeah, I did feel that, because he was portrayed in such a psychotic form, such a devilish form, but still wasn't that utilized. Please tell me in the comments this as well, that did you feel this as well? Now the thing that I really enjoyed about this movie was Paul's journey from a student of Fremen to their Messiah, their absolute Messiah. His journey in this movie was just peak, and it all changed when he goes to South. And there is a great metaphor here, because he felt if he goes to the South, millions of people will die, and that was the only thing on his mind, that he shouldn't cross, that he should not go to the South. And the moment he went to the South, he drank that water of life, or that life water, something like that, and just after that, the entire character Paul Atreides was changed completely. It was just a 180-degree shift, and it was so beautiful to witness. That scene in that cave, peak Timothée Chalamet performance. And the metaphor at the end of the day was, the thing that you fear the most will be the most liberating for you. Then again, the scenes, that wide angle scene that I was talking about, those were taken from the top. These scenes, epic scenes, epic scenes. But what happened with Zendaya, I couldn't say more. Let's talk about Zendaya now. Zendaya also had a very complex character to play because she was constantly battling between those two thoughts of us. That one thought was her love for Paul's character, and the second thing was her resistance to what people are saying about Paul, that he doesn't believe in that messiah kind of a shit, but he only believes that he is an outworlder, he has come here, he is fighting for his people, and it's all good. But at the end of the day, she had to suffer. But yeah, Zendaya's performance was also pretty great in this movie. Now, if I talk about the reveals in this movie, there were some very sick reveals. Like, the most shocking reveal was that Lady Jessica is the daughter of Baron Harkonnen, and that was really something that I did not expect to happen at all. And again, the second reveal, by which I was pretty surprised, was the reveal that the Bene Gesserit, they had a lot of prospects for the Lisanel Gaib, and one of the prospect was Austin Butler's character. So that was again a pretty good setup to Austin Butler's character too. Now, one thing that I was a bit confused about was Florence Pugh's limited scenes. I thought she was going to have a larger role in this movie, but to my surprise, she didn't have a lot of scenes. If I talk about the final fight scene of this movie between Austin Butler's character and Timothée Chalamet's character, it was again good. And if you have seen the movie, you know what happens just before the end of the fight, and I was like, whoa, no, that's not happening. But yeah, everything went fine. And while I was talking about the fight scene, that fight scene really feels earned because it takes a lot of time to start. You know, there is a lot of setup to that fight, and even when the fight is going on, there are no hasty cuts. In a fight scene, you want minimalistic cuts and you want to show the entire fight. When not as many cuts and you can actually see the fight, you can actually experience the fight, you can actually feel like you are there witnessing the fight. Again, great job. But this movie at the end feels complete yet incomplete. And what I mean by that is, the arc that was set up in the first movie for Paul's character is completed. It is absolutely completed, that he is now at the top of his game. But still, there are stories that can be explored in the third movie as well. But yeah, this could be called as a perfect sequel to a great first movie, because at the end of the day, as I said earlier as well, after watching the second movie, you will realize the importance of how well the first movie was made as well. Because without the first movie, the second movie is nothing, and it goes without saying as well. But at the same time, I want to say the second movie does elevate what the first movie did. And if you have already seen the first Dune movie but you still want a quick recap of the movie, you can watch this video that I've made. And as always, thank you so much for watching.